Hello and welcome to the Craftsman Show. My name is your host, the Craftsman. I'm going to show y'all my pirate hat, but this thing can't stay on my head. In today's video, I'm going to solve a Rubik's Cube. And also, we're going to explore what is the best resin for making action figures. Way back before I ever started making YouTube videos, I had big dreams about making my own action figures with 5 points of articulation. I even got the cart ahead of the horse and bought me some blisters like that right there. You know. Cause I was going to design my own card backs and do the packaging, all that stuff. I did not make very many of these because basically what happened is to get the best piece that you can, you would have to pressure cast this, alright, to eliminate the bubbles and things like that. The problem with that is I was doing it from one set of molds, you see what I'm saying? They go the arms right there, 2-part mold, the legs, 2-part mold. So I was just making all these little figures one at a time, and that wouldn't have been such a big deal, except that I was airing up my pressure tank with a bicycle pump. See that? And I was in the best shape of my life at that time. So I told myself the only way, Craftsman, that you're going to be able to make action figures is you got to go ahead and make you just a bunch of these molds, alright? That way you can put all that in the pressure pot at the same time. And then, you know, let it sit. And when you open it, you got that many copies at one time that you got. So my dream of making a little articulation figure, I had to put all that on the shelf. And then started making me some just solid, you know, figures like that right there. Let's see. And some of y'all know about the free range chicken already. That's the first thing we made, you know, a bunch of, a couple 300 of them. And I say we, call my wife, the reason we got as many made as we had made. I did make that little articulated figure right there. But I still had dreams of making me not only an articulated figure, but one that you can take and bend them legs without worrying about things breaking. They durable, you know what I'm saying? Then I made this little man right there in the kit bash video, and several of y'all commented about Craftsman. I would love to see a comparisons on action figure resin. Boop boop, doop doop doop. Alright, first of all, if you're planning to make your own action figure, then you're probably gonna go one or two ways. Alright, if you're really truly going to be making toys that's going to be played with by children, you would have to go get you a children product certificate from the CPSC, Consumer Product Safety Commission. You down with CPC? Yeah, you know me. Well, probably not, cause I can't afford it. So what can we do? That's a question mark to represent the question of this. Let me shade that in just to make it look more vivid, more lustrous. All right, there we go. So what can we do? What you actually can do if you don't want to do expense of making a truly toy 5 toy that's safety tested and done, all that like that, then what you can do is, y'all look at how good my hand right now. First of all, put up on a collectible, not for children under 14. And that's exactly what we did with the free range chicken. Made in the USA, optionable. All that being said, I still did not want to make something that was brittle, breakable. At first I said, you know, this ain't even meant to be played with. All you got to do is just write fragile up on it, like that right there. Then I said, no, Craftsman, if somebody want to open up this toy and straight up play some battle at their desk at work, let's just make it durable. It ain't got to be durable there right there, you know. But it should be acceptable, durable flexibility. This how he look when he ready to go, you know. Then when he trying to hold back his anger, look. I wanted my figure to have the flexibility of a Star Wars figure. About like that right there. And speak of durability, do y'all know about shaw hardness? It's a measure of a material's resistance to indentation. And they even got the little thing called a durometer. Anyway, durometer. And that's a thing that will basically measure the hardness of plastics and things like that. This will give you an idea about shaw hardness. All these different things, and they respect the shaw hardnesses. See that? Duro. I believe that is Spanish for hard. But because of my duro-headedness, I decided to try every type of resin that I could get my hands on that would be about like that right there. And it would hold up. Now just real quick, let me say this. These figures injection molded with a very resilient plastic that's melted and then shot into a metal mold. And so I did not expect to get it exactly like that right there. But it turned out some of these resins are pretty darn close to this. Today's video is brought to you all by my sponsor, a harmonic. Alright, smooth on smooth cast 45D. Pot life 5 minutes. Cure time 30 minutes. Ease and mix ratio 1:1 by volume. 45D is a real low viscosity right there. So that means bubbles is not going to be as prominent. However, to make this as fair of a test as possible, I'm still going to do two things. I'm going to put this in a pressure pot. Then I'm going to go ahead and give it a full 24 hours to cure. Oh, by the way, I got me a new compressor. Good morning. So we got a little biker scout arm right there. Cast in 45D. I want to give y'all a little additional information about these two right here. 45D and 65D smooth cast. Can either one of these be used in rotational castings? That way you would have your little mold like that, and you would rotate it. All the resin coats the inside of the mold. That would give you a more rigid cast that would be hollow, but this one will be flexible. Look at this. And this is the cup from yesterday, and this is what it turned out. So this was down up in there. See? Do y'all know about the vinyl figures and things like that? The designer vinyl figure lines. 45D may be a candidate because, you know, see how thin that is, but you could imagine if it was thicker, you know, just something to consider. This is one that I have never used before up until just, you know, a couple weeks ago. And my friend over at the Plastic Geek, he said, Craftman, have you ever used Flex at 90 specialty resin and chemical? And it's just a 1:1, pot life 3 minutes, and then cure time 1.5 hours. And I have found that it actually cures a lot quicker than 1.5 hours. You can handle it sooner than that. And we're going to go put this in the pressure pot. Another one from Smooth On to consider is the Simpact line right there. So they got an 85A, also they got a 60A. And let me show you what that looks like. Alright, that's the Simpact 60A. It probably, for action figure arm, would be a little bit too flexible. But the 85A, this is what that looks like. It returns to its shape real good. It's very flexible. I would still say maybe a little soft, but it reminds me more of a action man. I always noticed that their legs more flexible. A lot more flexible to me than a Star Wars figure. On these men right there. He look like he don't trust nobody. This probably one I would not maybe use for action figure leg, but this might be a great thing to use for making your own little muscle style men like that. Probably would be good. Now another one that I have tested is Performance 65D, and that's from Illuminate right there. And this is what that looks like. As you can see, oh mercy. As you can see, this is very tough. Again, that's Illuminate Performance 65D. However, if you notice, it does take it a while to return back to original shape. See that? I'm looking for something that's probably a little more springy. It returned back pretty fast. That's a Star Wars figure. Now the TAS 16 is probably one of the toughest ones that I have come across, but it's got some drawbacks to it, and I'll tell you about that. And this just a little biker scout body right there, but you normally would not make the body out of a soft resin. You want to use a rigid. By the way, all these probably 3-4 years old. I just had these. I don't have any TAS 16 on hand right now, but I do have enough sample parts that I can show y'all a little bit about the flexicity of it. It might be considered a little too soft, TAS 16. It ain't as easy to mix because you got to use a scale, and the ratio is 1A to 2B by weight. Cure time is 24 hours on that thing. So, you know, just be ready to have you a bunch of molds poured up that you can put them all at one time and put it in your pressure pot. TAS 16 is phenomenal, but not probably the best for action figure legs. But when I boil it down to the ones that I kind of would prefer, it's going to come down to reasons of bendicity, flexibility, aka, and it's going to come down to the convenience of, you know, mix ratio and cure times and things. Let's see what we got here. Smooth on smooth cast 45D right there. It's got a pretty good feel to it, in my opinion. It does not return to its shape quite as fast, you know. So smooth cast 45D. But what has become, I think, my personal favorite is this Flex at 90, because not only you can bend it sharp like that, and notice it ain't starting to split, but it does look like it's gonna take a lot to actually break it. Oh, there we go. Okay, and it took a sharp bend in it to get that to happen. You know, so if I was trying to do that same style, I would be probably going for the Flex at 90. And, you know, just like I said, taking into consideration several things. Number one, the feel of it, the flex of it. But also considering that it was very easy to mix. You know, even though it might say an hour, I have found that you can take this thing out the mold in about half that time. Even less than 30 minutes sometimes. It depends on the temperatures and things. But Craftsman, hold up. I ain't trying to make some clear looking art. I'm trying to make something just like that right there. What can we do? The best thing that you can do if you're going to color your action figure parts like this is to consider that you should make it whatever the color is the majority in this. You know, there's a lot of black in this, but you can tell this is white plastic, and then they painted it black. So we're going to try to replicate that right there. I reached out to my man Dan over at Specialty Resin and Chemical and was telling him how much I really have been liking the Flexit 90 and was asking about ways to color, you know, different things that I could do. And he said, Craftsman, I done already sent it to you FedEx today. Look at that. So I just want to say thank you to Dan for straight up sending this to me. So we about to try and replicate this biker scout arm, which is a white plastic. So we're going to start out with this white pigment right there. All right, we're going in the pressure pot. What I have found to be the case is that this Modern Masters acrylic right there is actually pretty acceptable to me. I like to wait till Hobby Lobby gets a little 50% off on their paints, and that's the best time to go because look, you know, that's $4. All right, so I painted this one. No, excuse me. This one. This the original right there. And this the new one. I did kind of a rush job on it, you know, but really, I'm just not a very good painter in a way. But I did want to show y'all how that you can do that. As you can see, the original one, the detail shows up more simply because it's more dirty. And that's where little grime and things have collected over the years. And so what I think I might do is do me a little black wash on this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how much I like doing that black wash anyway. And I'm going to try to paint this around the camera. A little more difficulty, but you know. So we just going to kind of come in here. You know, it's going to seep into the little crevices and creepers, the little details. And we're trying to just kind of bring that out, you know, to match the original. I'm going to let that sit for a little minute, and I'm just going to kind of dab it off of there, you know. And there we go. We have got a copy of the original using a resin that is very tough, very durable, and will hold up for a long time. And if I wanted to, I could even take and come in here and on these little knuckles, I could scrape it across, you know, if I want to give it a play with look. All I got to do, see that right there? To be honest, paint is a topic that's on its own. Anybody that's been painting for a while will tell you probably the most important thing that you can do is surface preparation. Some type of primer. Maybe you might need to abrade the surface to give it some tooth to hold on to that paint. That usually is a good sign when it takes a little work to get that to scrape off. If it comes off in a big peel, big flake, then that's a bad sign. So anyway, just want to point that out. But I don't know, it would bother me, so you know, I'm probably gonna be using this in the video thumbnail, so I said, you know, I need to make it look like the original as much as I can, so people will be like, what is there? Let me watch this video, see what this is about, like that right there. Alright, so and that's our brand new resin cast on in the Biker Scout. And if you wanted to make a hard plastic action figure body, because you know normally this part the hard rigid resin plastic right there, you're gonna need something that's tough enough that that little neck peg ain't gonna break. You know, depending on how you do your necks and things. 65D is what I made most of the free range chickens out of. Later on we end up using some Smooth Calf 300. But one thing that happened with one of these, whenever we was shipping out all these to people that ordered them, my wife and I, we put them down in the box and then put that box inside another box. And I thought they was packed up really good, really snug, you know. But one person contacted me that the little peg had broke. And they opened it up, it looked like that. So the only thing I can figure is that it was in the box. Did that right there happen? See? It's not necessarily designed for high intensity, and it was just a very rough handling and shipping to cause that. In my experience, the best hard plastic that I have used is Smooth On Task 4. Smooth On has a whole bunch of their task lines. T-A-S-K. But Task 4 would be the one to hold up even in small little areas like that without snapping off too easy. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Say nice thing to people. Speak love to somebody today. It might change their whole dramatic of their life. I love y'all and keep steady crafting.